I'm Anakin Skywalker. I'm the strongest Force ghost in the galaxy far, far away, and let me introduce you to Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. You're probably wondering, Anakin, how the heck are you narrating this when you're, dead and all? Well, let me tell you, being a Force ghost has its perks. I get a front row seat to relive all the glory and drama of my life. Off we go on the adventures of Star Wars. Only the good ones here. So we start off on good old Tatooine, where I'm tearing up the pod racing circuit, building droids, just things any 10-year-old does, right? Along comes Qui-Gon Jinn, who tells me for the first time that I could be the greatest Jedi of them all, the Chosen One. Obi-Wan Kenobi's there too. They whisk me and my mom Shmai away, and next thing you know, I'm on Naboo, hanging out with Queen Padmé Amidala, our fearless queen with a trade dispute so bad that it warranted a full-blown invasion. Believe me, I had no idea she was a queen at the time. I just thought she was really beautiful, smart, and totally out of my league kind of girl.
Are you an angel?
Yeah, I got Riz. Now the Trade Federation is up to no good as usual, and we've got to stop them. Cue the epic lightsaber battles. And this is where the big reveal happens, right? The Sith are back. No lesser than in the form of Darth Maul. He does look quite scary with a double-bladed lightsaber, but yeah, Obi-Wan beats him and I blow up the Trade Federation ship as my first act of heroism for the galaxy.
Wow, how'd you do that?
I'm the Chosen One. It's in my blood. Of course, this is where Qui-Gon has to go first and get killed. If only we knew what would have been if that wouldn't have happened, though there are only 10 explainer videos for reference. So yeah, that's how I ended up as Obi-Wan's Padawan. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. 10 years have passed and I'm a bit of a hothead now. I mean, who isn't, right? I'm in my teenage years and I've got a sweet new haircut. And I've got Master Obi-Wan as my teacher. Anyway, off we go to investigate an assassination attempt on Senator Padmé Amidala. She's conveniently a senator now, and she's even more gorgeous than I remember.
Anakin, you're looking at her body double.
Damn it, Obi-Wan and I are on a mission to protect her because, apparently, being a senator is a high-risk profession. And there's already been an assassination attempt.
Dude, you're looking at the double again.
But yeah, jumping ahead, we know what's important. Me, Riz, and Padmé up.
I don't like sand.
Anakin, your Riz sucks. I'm not gonna get lectured by a lifelong virgin. Oh, while she's falling for me, I get these visions that haunt me till today. We go to Tatooine and my mom dies in my arms. Can you imagine the pain? She was the most important person in my life. So, killing her murderers, their families, and every dynasty was only the right thing to do. On a lighter note, Obi-Wan discovers a whole clone army for the Republic that's conveniently waiting on Kamino. He then leaves for Geonosis to get captured. Classical Obi-Wan. So we go and try to rescue him, but even the Chosen One has missteps sometimes, and we get caught and put in this arena with big monsters. To save the three of us, around 200 Jedi show up and have a massive battle with an army of battle droids. And then Master Yoda flies in with the clone army we discovered earlier, and before you know it, we're in the middle of what's gonna be known as the Battle on Geonosis. That is the start of the Clone Wars. To end things off, me and Obi-Wan fight Count Dooku, the leader of the Separatist Alliance, and Dooku cuts my arm off. Yeah, that was bad, but Yoda comes in and saves us. Dooku escapes, and we win the battle for Geonosis. I get a metal arm and marry Padmé. The galaxy might be worse off, but my private life just got a lot more interesting.
It was really mean that you called me a virgin earlier.
It's the Jedi way! Nah, this is where the fun begins. Enter Revenge of the Sith, and fast forward 3 years, the war's dragging on. We're deep into the Clone Wars now, I'm a full-fledged Jedi Knight, and right on the way to get back Chancellor Palpatine from Count Dooku and General Grievous. Dooku and I have our rematch, and I kill him finally, with some encouragement, that is.
Do it.
This is a big step in ending the war, as their main leader is dead, especially because Obi-Wan is off to kill General Grievous. After the battle, though, I keep getting nightmares and visions of Padmé's death, just like with my mother, which turned out to be true at that time. She was also pregnant, so there's no way I could let that happen. But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility. That's not your line. Dude, you're really getting on my nerves. And yeah, I'm about to learn that the hard way because my good friend Chancellor Palpatine just casually drops that he's a Sith Lord. Looking back at it, there were some hints, to be honest.
Do it.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
But I didn't really get the hints. He tries to tell me he could save Padmé from death, and after the loss of my mother, it was kind of the only thing I cared about. Palpatine would make a great sales guy, you know, telling you exactly what you want to hear and stuff. Dude, he literally sold everyone being an old, frail, good-hearted chancellor. He could make you buy your own lightsaber from yourself if he wanted to. And this is where things get dark. Master Windu and the other Jedis confront Palpatine, and in a split-moment's decision, I cut off Master Windu's hand, and thus complete the turn to the dark side. Now I know what you're thinking. Anakin, how could you fall for that? Well, if you've ever loved someone like I did, and you get a chance to save them from death, you'd know. And roll the saddest scene in the entire story.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
The Jedi get killed by the clone army that served loyally by them throughout the entire war, and I start a raid on the Jedi Temple. No one survived. I survived. Who are you? I'm from the Disney Obi-Wan series, and I survived your temple assault. We're covering the good Star Wars here, not the Disney one. Doesn't even make sense how you survived. From there, it's pretty much all downhill. I end up in a brutal lightsaber duel with Obi-Wan and get beaten, despite being the chosen one.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
I've always underestimated him. I lose my limbs and he leaves me getting burned to a crisp. And then to top it all off, through the Force, I can feel that Padmé dies. And I'm left with nothing but regret and the cold embrace of the dark side. I've lost everything that was dear to me. There was no turning back after everything done. I'm fully embedded as Darth Vader now, holed in a life-supporting suit as second in command to the now newly formed Galactic Empire, as the apprentice of Darth Sidious, the Emperor of the Galaxy. 19 years later, the Empire's striving and at the height of its power. Over the last couple of years, a rebellion started to form who try to bring down the Empire. And they just stole the plans to our new space station in a huge operation above Scarif. Anyway, I capture the princess who stole our plans and bring her to the Death Star. Seriously, at the time already, that girl gave me major Padmé vibes. Don't know why. And also, I know I'm not supposed to say this, being on the good guy's side again and all, but look at that thing. It's big, beautiful, symmetrical, and armed with a laser that can blow up planets. What's not to love? I got off track a bit, so I'm just chilling, doing Empire stuff on there, when suddenly I sensed the presence of my old master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was here, on the Death Star. I didn't get how, but he always had a thing to show up whenever the galaxy needed him most. He was helping this bunch of rebels escape with the princess, but I intervene, so Obi-Wan and myself clash for one last time, and he sacrifices himself for the greater good. This was huge, as to our knowledge, he was the last Jedi. Well, a lot are still alive at this point, actually. There's Ahsoka, Cal Kestis, Grogu, Yoda. As I said, he was the last Jedi. We follow the escaping rebel craft to their home base and prepare to get rid of the rebellion once and for all. They launch a final desperate attempt to stop us. They had this funny little plan where each of them one by one flew down one of the Death Star trenches. That made them real easy targets. I personally shot down most of the rebel fighters, but one last fighter on the brink of being shot down fires his torpedoes at the last second and they destroy the Death Star. The pilot was a kid named Luke Skywalker, the same kid who came with Obi-Wan onto the Death Star earlier, and he managed an impossible 1 in a million shot, guided by the Force. After hearing his name, I knew instantly that this was my son. How did you not know you had a son this entire time? I was grieving very, very much. Oh, Padmé, what have I done? I think even I could have figured out you were related. You knew she was pregnant, right? We don't talk about plot holes here. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. 3 years pass and the Empire's still reeling from the Death Star fiasco. As the rebels have proven themselves to be a real threat, they were being hunted now. The location of the rebels' base on the icy planet of Hoth has just been revealed, so we went in. 5 AT-AT walkers were deployed and were enough to take down the base. Now every rebel is on the run. My particular interest was in the crew of the Millennium Falcon, however, as I knew that Luke Skywalker was always with them. The Emperor has got a particular interest in him, requiring him alive, so I sent out bounty hunters to go find them for me. Boba Fett, the most competent bounty hunter of them all, tracks them to Cloud City. He looks so cool and mysterious. I wonder what else there is to him. Sometimes it's better to stay mysterious and not explain everything. Same goes for Boba. Don't watch Book of Boba Fett, it's bad. I bargained with Lando Calrissian, the administrator of the city, to set them up. I capture and torture Han Solo, his best friend, in order to get Luke to come find them, as he wasn't with them. I turn Solo into a brick and send him away with Boba Fett. Luke, of course, comes to their rescue, and I challenge them to a lightsaber battle. He's got some basic training, but it's really nothing compared to other Jedis from back in the day. I corner him, cut off his arm, and with him being defenseless, I try to recruit him to join me as my apprentice. I could complete his training and we could rule the galaxy together. He seemed wary, so I dropped the mother of all bombshells on Luke.
No, I am your father.
Sends shivers down my spine every time. God, I love that line. No, Luke, I am your father. The look on Luke's face was priceless. Of course, the kid doesn't take the news too well. Who can blame him, right? I mean, one minute you're fighting the ultimate evil, and the next you find out the evil is your own flesh and blood. Truly the best plot twist in the history of Star Wars. Luke drops himself down the reactor shaft and escapes me that way.
Maybe he didn't want to join you because you cut off his arm?
It was necessary for him to embrace the dark side, the hatred, the anger.
Yeah, seemed to have worked out great.
I find out later that Lando had betrayed our treaty and escaped with the crew of the Millennium Falcon. They also took Luke with them, so the chase is on again. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. All Jedi are dead but one, and it's time for their grand return. The Rebellion gets given information about the location of the in-construction second Death Star, so the plot unfolds. My main priority was to get Luke and bring him to the Emperor. The rebels land on the forest moon of Endor to take out the shields of the Death Star, but they're unaware that we had purposely given them the location of the Death Star to destroy them once and for all in one final battle. Luke surrenders himself to me on Endor without me having to do anything. And so begins the final chapters of Darth Vader. Luke was able to feel some conflict in myself, as I had feelings for the last remnant of my family.
It's insane. As you were the most evil being in the galaxy, you killed and massacred your friends, thousands of people, that someone would believe in you is beyond me.
That's why you're a Force ghost now without a name. Your lack of faith is disturbing. I figured out that he also has a sister that was alive and well, so I did wonder what could have been. I bring him in front of the Emperor and he starts testing and teasing Luke, showing him how his friends on Endor and the Rebel fleet were being destroyed and killed as they walked right into his trap. It's too much for Luke to handle, so he tries to take down the Emperor. I intervene, of course, and we have another lightsaber battle. He's gotten a lot stronger, and to everyone's shock, he beats me. I was too conflicted, my mind racing. The Emperor, seeing the opportunity to gain a new apprentice, tries to get Luke to kill me, but Luke, being the Jedi he is, throws down his lightsaber, refusing to keep fighting me. He sees the good in me, the remnants of Anakin Skywalker, and it throws me for a loop. The Emperor starts using Force Lightning on him, which he has no chance against. And just like all these years ago, when I decided to turn on the Jedi and cut off Master Windu's arm, I threw the Emperor down the reactor shaft, saving my son's life and killing Palpatine once and for all. After all those years of being the fearsome Darth Vader, in the end, the love of my son was what brought me back to the light. Yeah, you heard me right. As it turns out, family trumps galactic dominance. The battle did wear me out, and the Force Lightning of the Emperor destroyed my suit. So with my last strength, I lay eyes on Luke with my own eyes and pass into the Force. So here I am now, Anakin Skywalker, redeemed. The Emperor got what he deserves. the Death Star goes boom again, mainly due to some teddy bears on Endor, the galaxy celebrates the end of the Empire, and Luke brings the Jedi back from the brink of extinction. Who would win? War machine perfected through centuries in an advanced civilization? Or a tree? It's about the plot, dude. Not everything has to make sense. So, this is the story of a man that has walked all paths. Childhood hero to passionate lover to right-hand man of an evil dictator, and who finally kills him to redeem himself. That's the heritage of Star Wars. All the events transpired due to love. And that's how I became a Force Ghost. That's quite the CV. Let's see, what's on mine? Trained with Yoda, died during Order 66, lifelong virgin, shit. If you'll excuse me, I have a date with Ghost Padmé now.